Right, we're back. We're going to do a little bit of the new modded Minecraft FTB Feed the Beast Continuum. Just started setting up spawn earlier. So this is as much as I've done so far from the schematic I picked. It's basically going to look like an area of these kind of, I suppose we call them Norwegian style houses, old style, don't know what to call it. But anyway, I'm going to load the schematic now and line it up. So Schematica, of course, is a extra client-side mod you have to install in order to use schematics. You can, of course, build schematics or load them into single player, alter them there, or build them there, and then save them to a text file and then load into multiplayer. This is, of course, available to also on survival servers when you're not staff or you don't have creative access. So the one I'm looking for is Project Public Spawn. Now, it's in the wrong position at the moment, but we're going to fix that. So, bring that down. There we go, nearly done. Just keep nudging it to the left until it lines up with the blocks I've already put down. There we go. Now you can see a ghost outline of what it's going to look like. Now there's a section in here, of course, that needs to be dug out, but I could keep it as a overgrown looking effect as well. And then this middle bit here is where you're going to actually spawn into. So that's the plan, and then I just need to turn on the printer and start moving. Unfortunately, in this particular schematic, it has some blocks that don't exist in this pack. So, and also I want to swap out things like that. Of course it's raining. So as I knock out the pre-existing blocks, the ones from the Schematica automatically get set. I'm using the torches then to control the mob spawn in the area, to keep it actually clear. Normally I would use something like a draconic staff or something with a wide dig radius that would clear. I'm not sure what's on this mod pack at the moment, but I know that's not in it, so yeah. We're going to have to do without it for now. Just update the server to 101 as well. Right, here we go. That's Grant Rolf. He's one of the staff guys that I originally hired back when I was running this. I kind of stepped down for it because I was busy with other things, couldn't do everything myself, so with him, an Aussie and a old doggy who's, I can't remember which country he's from, but he's like mid-eastern Europe, I guess would be the word. Where is he? I see him on the mini map. I know he's up there. There's not as much in his pack as I was expecting. In fact, I'd nearly go as far as to say that I was a bit disappointed with it when it wasn't there. Very surprised Draconic Evolution wasn't in it, or Galactic Craft even. But yeah, I wanted to build it up into over here, this little mountain. Right. Actually, that sounds like the music is playing over. Right, just fix that. So, definitely not for the impatient when it comes to doing this sort of thing. So here we've got I think that's a mushroom block from Twilight, I think it was. So the schematic was originally built using that. Plus it's a nice change of pace from playing FPS games and stuff. You could say, I've spent, like in the past I've spent like hours, like very long sittings building spawns and building from schematics. Like, you really would not want to be doing this by hand unless you were building it in creative, maybe on single player. If you were playing on a survival server and then bring it into the survival server. But again, if you were playing survival mode properly, you wouldn't have Right. Unfortunately, the hard part to replace these blocks, you have to be really quick with the clicking. Probably would be easier if I just turn off the printer, get rid of it, then put it down. One of the reasons why I'm getting rid of these as well is the fact that I don't think they're actually available in the in-game survival, so I don't want them to be available to the players. Now what I could do is I could actually leave it the way it is. Give me 1 second, just need to move one of my app windows on the other monitor is obscured. I can't see it. Ah, there we go. Right, and we're back. So you see the purple and red. Red means I placed a block that doesn't match the Schematica. But as I said, I'm tempted to just leave the red and the purple as is for a lot of this, because I can leave it looking like it's been abandoned and overgrown. Some of this now is going to be temporary as well, so I'm probably going to sink those blocks down into the floor as well. Right, I'll turn the printer back on. One of the little tricks as well is when you're dealing with slabs and steps, you need to sometimes turn your views in order for it to be able to place them in the right direction. With slabs, it can be trickier when it's alternating, where it'll actually try to turn them into an actual full block when you don't want to. That could be a pain to deal with. Placing signs, of course, from the schematic gives up that new prompt, but I tend to escape out of it as quickly as I can. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, magnum torches are great for when you're doing something like this, because it means you can hide them underneath, so they help stop mobs spawning in the general build area. So I'll just put down somewhere where there's none, like there. I just build out this corner while I'm here. Again, as I said, not for the impatient. If it wasn't a weeknight, I could easily do this in one sitting, but no. And I purposely didn't go too big because I figured it's going to take at least 6 hours to do this, and I don't plan on streaming this for 6 hours either. So actually I was supposed to be doing some Battlefield 1, which I am going to do. It's now just after 11, 11:15, so this was just to give you a glimpse into schematic building. And now that I have my proper access set up there with op and so forth, I can come back to this then anytime and I'm free and just do a bit more. So there's an example of where we could use the stack command from World Edit. You can go inside here and as this corner gets built out, those mushroom blocks that aren't going to get placed because they don't exist in the pack, what I can do is I can put 4 pieces of wool down, set up the wand, Let's see, how do we do that? Let's stick that in there. Usually I just do the wooden axe, and then it's double slash. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk in here. As you can see, there's some steps in the side of that, so they don't, if you're looking at it face on, they generally don't place at all. And I also tend to move a bit of a distance away so as to get the outer blocks to build as a priority instead of the inside ones that you don't see. So that's why I tend to be moving, and then I go from left to right to get the steps to place, like that one right there. And that one is at a kind of northwest facing point, so for that one to place I need to be facing, yeah, to the left, and then it places it. That's basically how that works. So we're going to turn off the printer. Another thing you can actually do is, other than the starting coordinates, you can do things like flipping and rotating with tools. This will give you a list of everything that's in the schematic. Now, the one thing I'd love to see is the ability to swap out these by clicking on them, but unfortunately it doesn't let you do something that obvious. Unless there's another way of doing it that I'm not aware of, but anyway. And plus sometimes you won't want to build with certain blocks, like say bedrock or obsidian. Right, if we go down in here, so this is where the mushroom blocks would have been, but we're going to use this instead. So let's put those down there. But before we do, we're going to select that one. Actually, sorry, that was the right click I did instead of left click. Doesn't matter, as long as the next one is the left click, it's fine. And now we're going to left click on the, so that was the bottom one, and now the top one. Then I'm going to come out of here, and I'm going to face the direction I wanted to extend in, and use stack. So I made that 3x2, I think it was. So if I do 20, it should copy it 20 times in that direction. And if you look in there, you'll see all the wool. So the other thing you can do is, if you stack it too much, now in this particular case 20 wasn't enough, so I'm going to face that direction again, up arrow, and type 50 this time. Now I'm going to go to the corner, because somewhere here somewhere here, probably, oh there it is, yeah. So now we can see, this is very close to, yeah, so there's more mushroom blocks. So what we need to find is where did the 50th stack copy end, to figure out how much more we need to put in, or get it to stack by, I should say. Takes a bit of getting used to, but once you do, it's not too bad. No, still not there. Oh, okay, there's the wall. Right. Right, so let's go up to the corner now and see. You see, because this is actually an actual square, all we need to do is figure out how many times we ran it, or what was the maximum count. So there's, what was that, 60? So we got 60, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so possibly 62. 62 in that direction for a 3x2. And then just prune that down to what it's supposed to be. Oh, something's on fire. Oh yeah, yeah. Now here's the problem we need to fix. Can't use because of the lava and the wood that's in the build. Derp, yes. As you can see, the wall is on fire. Now we could just put down a bucket of water and neutralize this quicker. So let's just grab a bucket. Done. Now what I was going to say is go back up here. Finish the wall off on that side. So we just want to get to the outside corner, see where the turn is. Right, it's... yeah, so this looks like the turn. This here is where we want the wall to go. Right, just turn on the printer for a second to do that corner. Now turn off the printer. I think there's a key binding actually for that, but yeah, we're not bothering with it at the moment. So once we're in here, so do 1, 2, select, come out, down the remaining blocks, right click the top one. Now that's 2x3, and we're going to do stack 61 this time. So now what that should have done, turn back on the printer. And if I float high enough, I should have the top couple of blocks done here just to finish off finish marking off this corner. There we go. There's the corner. Like, you don't necessarily have to dig out the whole thing. Again, I want this to look merged, overgrown. Which is why I'm not digging the whole thing out. So if I go across here now, this. So you can mark out corners and edges just by standing where there's the building structure. Because I can always come back later if I really wanted to and dig around this to make it build out properly. Now what I need is some of these they look like wooden logs, but they're actually wooden log texture on all sides, not just 4. So that's the reason why they're not getting placed. It's the second block on the schematic that's a bit of a nuisance when you don't have all the same blocks in the pack, but I didn't realise that when I took it out of the library folder I have. I'll just put down a couple of other blocks for the meantime. But anyway, if I go out here, yeah, we can see the white wool has been placed. So we're just going to go to the opposite corner now and make sure that it finished out properly and didn't break out through it. That's what you do, right? Oh yeah. So there's it there. It ended about 2 blocks short. So we can do that to clean it up. Oh, there's my mega torch that I put down earlier. Oh. And again, we could do the same from this corner. Turn off the printer. Walk in here. Now, we're just going to take out that torch out of there. Stick it in behind there. With a left click. Put down 2 more. Come out. And then press 2 more. Oh, thanks for the follow, Grander. Now, if we right click on that one and then face due west, no, it was not south, then we're going to use the up arrow and use that command again. And what that will do is repeat that section the whole way down here. Just checking this here. So you can see the red blocks. So the red blocks means it's a mismatch on the schematic, but it's intentional, so we're going to leave that. Then we're just going to go back down here and see that where it ended. It should be very close to the end based on the fact that it's square. Yeah, that worked. And I just fell down a hole. Brilliant. Yeah, so here we go. Just fill in this corner here. I think this side wasn't done, so again, same idea. Select the lower one, select the top one. Oh, whoops. Left one. Yeah. Top one. And again, 61. Now, because I only did a 2x2 that time, that's probably going to come up short. What else we got? So it's here. Okay, turn back on the printer. So what I'd like to do is finish off the edge here. Where all these cows are. Turn right to get the steps in. There we go. those interested in building with World Edit, I highly recommend getting the cheat sheet from their website. There's just a vast amount of commands you can use. The most common ones are obviously the wooden axe tool for selecting, shape commands for doing like obliques. You could do a hollow sphere, hollow tubes, depending on what you're trying to build. You're obviously building from scratch. Usually that's what those I use for. Used to be another thing years ago, voxel brushes, I think it was. We used to use them for building trees and various things, but the most useful one I have to say has always been the select tool, which is the wooden axe, and using that with a pattern. So if you build, say, a wall section or a corridor section, and you want that corridor or wall, or even a tunnel, you can select the lower left corner and then the opposing upper diagonal corner of that, whatever that pattern is, that or tunnel that you want to build, and you literally just face in the direction you want it to continue in. Use the stack command and say how many times you want it to repeat. It's very, very useful. Things like doing railway tunnels, or building railways, actually, very useful. Done that in the past, large scale projects with other builders, but again, requires a lot of patience. I don't really play the Minecraft packs anymore these days. Too many other games, and when I do take a notion, it's supposed to be for a couple of days, and I end up going back to doing something else. But what have we got there? Now some of these trees, for example, if they just don't look right the way they're going into it, I could clean that up easily. But we will come back to this, just not tonight. I had planned on doing some Battlefield 1, so I'm going to go to that now shortly. Probably do that for about an hour or an hour and a half, depending on what mode. Probably rush. Although I was tempted to check out the CTE client update. I see Jack Frags was playing a few things on it there the other day. Some new good changes to the HUD. Right, I'm just going to sign off the stream, and I'm going to see what's happened to Seren's blocks, and we'll be online shortly, probably next 15 minutes or so with Battlefield 1. Thanks for watching.